All right, and we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from, and welcome back to the Crypto Analyst live stream. Now, excuse me, before I get too deep into this, guys, I want to go ahead and say that this is happening every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is around the current time right now. So hopefully you guys are able to tune into this. This is going to be a reoccurring event that's going to be happening at least over the next 5 months or so. This is going to be happening every single Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So with us getting back into the swing of this, I'm really excited. We're going to be doing Bitcoin, more so live Bitcoin and altcoin technical analysis moving forward, so that we're able to talk about what's happening into the markets, at least in the form of a live stream, at least one time a week, because what that allows us to do is to kind of me answer whatever questions that you guys might have, and for us to be able to interact at least once a week, so you guys can at least ask questions in that and of itself. So with that being said, though, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the link gets out to everyone, and then we're going to go ahead and move ourselves forward from there. So welcome everybody. If you're just now joining in, it's great to have you guys in here. I was just going over a couple of stuff that I will repeat as we do continue moving forward here. But what I'm going to do now is I am going to send out the link to make sure everybody gets it, especially in the Discord and things like that. If you guys are just tuning in, hit that like button, as it does help out a lot, helps the video get out to more people. But I'm going to make sure that our Discord gets this notification right now. And I think we are pretty much good to go from here. So welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will go over some of the stuff that I was talking about a second ago again in probably a couple of minutes, so that everyone will get a chance to hear it. But we're going to be doing some Bitcoin and altcoin technical analysis today. We're going to be going over what the market has to offer, as well as some important updates that I have to talk about moving into the future here. So with that being said, we're going to be covering Bitcoin first, then moving our way into some altcoins and taking your guys' requests on what you guys want me to look at, what you guys want me to get any thoughts of, whatever you guys want me to do some technical analysis of. You guys are going to be able to tell me that, and I'm going to be able to look at it and review it. So I'm actually pretty excited. One of the things that I was saying earlier is that this is happening every single Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be going and doing a live stream once a week, every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I think it's going to be a really cool thing to be able to get back into the swing and the habits of this. As I am, one of the things that I've been saying is that I am moved back into the official apartment. So the whole setup's back. I have my setup. I have the green screen, the mic stand, everything's back here. So I'm going to be getting back into the schedule here of lots of videos and hopefully continuous live streams. But now that we have gone ahead and opened up the stream, I do want to make sure that we actually are doing some TA. So we're going to be covering Bitcoin first. If you guys are here, drop something in chat. And if you guys have any questions, be sure to ask that in chat as well. But let's go ahead and cover Bitcoin, because there is some new information that we need to talk about within this giant bull flag, because this is something that I was posting on the Instagram about today. So first things first, guys. One of the most things that we've already covered over here is the support and resistance touch points. This is important to notice because moving forward, we needed at least 3 touch points of support and resistance, and we can see over here this is actually a wick. That's why I have it circled, is because this is actually a wick over here that you can probably barely see. Let's go ahead and zoom in, but hopefully you guys can see. This is a wick, and it fits in very, very, very nicely into this trend. And so opening up this trend, now this is a confirmed falling parallel channel, otherwise known as a potential bull flag scenario, bull pull bull flag scenario, because of the fact that we now have 3 separate touch points for support and resistance. Now, we've already talked about this, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. One of the things that I was speculating is that over here, when this started falling off and we started seeing lower swing highs and rejection from this resistance line, one of the things that I was very, very speculative of is that we were actually going to come back down here on the 50 EMA and form a death cross on the 4-hour. Now, this isn't horrible, but it's still, it's not a good thing to see. It's not what you want to see, at least. So with this death cross happening, which I have, which is where this final circle is over in here, it's not necessarily a good thing, which does lead me to believe that a retest of this former support line over here is going to be retested once again. So if we actually extend this support line out, we can see that not only was it just the double bottom over here, this area is a lot more significant than you might think. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So what this was, guys, and the reason that we got this area as a support, from the initial bounce from this downfall over here, and even the double bottom scenario that we had, the reason that we even got this is that we actually had former resistance over here. After it broke through, it came back down, used it as support over here in this area. So you can see the break, the hook, and the go scenario. Now, some people called this a 3-point move. Some people called this a break, hook, and go. Whatever you want to call this, this is a classic example that's used on many, many breakouts. So let me go ahead and explain how this is used in technical analysis. So the 50 EMA over here is being used as support. You can see that it came down, bounced off of it, came down, bounced off of it, came down, bounced off of it, came down again, bounced off of it. On this final attempt, besides the 50 EMA being used as support, it saw this as resistance, failed it, retested it, failed it again, and came back down. Now this is significant because you were setting yourself up and saying, okay, well, this is double resistance because they got rejected twice and then fell back down, but it was able to break above this resistance, come back down, test former resistance, now turn support, and then this is where you have the break, hook, and go scenario. So now you have former resistance, turn support. Of course, this guy breaks out after the break and hook. The go was, just the next thing in the scheme. However, when this guy eventually came back down to this same area where it had the initial breakout of, and this is something that's very significant because so many people just overlook this information when looking at like larger timescale charts. You can't forget about this. The whole reason why this broke out over in here was because of the fact that, or the whole reason why this happened is because of the breakout. So most people go, okay, well, that's great that it broke out. Now we can forget about that area, which isn't the case at all. So when learning technical analysis about this stuff, you need to know that, okay, this is a significant area because this is where the breakout started. Former resistance was broken, it turned support, and this is the initial breakout area. This is where the hook turned into a go. And so because the hook turned into a go, you have former support or former resistance turned support and staying support, okay? So here over here we have still being support and then still being support again over here. So was this a double bottom? Yes, it was a double bottom, but you have to remember why this was a double bottom, because why would it stop here? Again, we just covered that over in here. So with Bitcoin seeing numerous rejections, again, 3 rejections over here, there's really no, and in addition to this rejection being a very, very, one that's telling me that this guy's coming down, you have these 2 previous ones, and you have the death cross on top of that, which is all making me believe that after this death cross and the rejection from over here, there's no reason why this guy shouldn't be coming down to at least this breakout support area, right? This area that has been so important in Bitcoin over the last really 4 months, to be honest. This level of around $9,100, just over $9,000 is really this area. So there's no reason why Bitcoin can't come back down here and retest this level again. What it needs to be careful of is that it doesn't set up a descending triangle, because if we extend this guy out, you can see the potential of this descending triangle actually start to form over here. So if we just extend this out just a little bit, you guys can start seeing this actually playing itself out over here, and it's not something that you want to see, because if this guy comes down, bounces off here, you start getting descending triangle action, and then ultimately this breaks down hard. And then so if this was to break down, we would be speculating that it comes down to this bottom of the parallel channel support over in here, which looks like it's going to happen eventually. Again, it'd be better for it to do sooner, because if it broke down out of this descending triangle right here, what this would do is allow it to only have to go to like 7,700 before bouncing back up, where if it were to came over here, hit resistance, and then break down again, it would have to go all the way to like another $1,000 towards the downside. So the idea is that hopefully this happens sooner rather than later. The good thing about this is that while this is short-term and mid-term bearish, the macro of this is still very bullish. And I don't want to get that idea stomped out of the way. I just like talking about the short term first, then the midterm, and then the long term, which I almost said the large term, because this is where the large big picture actually plays out. And this is what I think is the ultimate important thing for people to know. So the way that I'm looking at this and playing this, of course, while I do say that this is midterm bearish and even, short-term bearish here, maybe midterm bearish like this, in the long term here, you still have to remember that this guy over here still looks like a massive bull flag. I've spent the last like 2 videos talking about it, but it still looks very, very consistently like a bull flag. The reason for that being is, again, it's just one of those things. If you Google bull flag, you're gonna see run up, and then falling parallel channel just all over the place. I've already done that a couple of times, so for the sake of time on this video, I'm not going to do it today. But basically, you have your bull pole and then the falling channel over here as your bull flag. And so no matter how you look at this, as long as this holds any of these supports in here, this idea is still very valid. Now, the breakout from a bull flag of this size in this area, we can't really see this on the 4-hour time scale, but it would be anywhere up to $17,000. And that's pretty significant. I mean, ideally, this guy has potential to go up to $17,000. And for most people, I mean, they're loving that, because if you buy support, you have the potential to 2x your money. Now, again, what I'm saying isn't legal, financial, or tax advice in any way, but the potential here is insane. Not even talking about leveraging your positions. And in addition to this, you have BACT coming out next month on September 23rd, which really isn't that far away, and that's supposed to be a very, very big and important thing. So what happens if this price just gets suppressed, and then all of a sudden around December or September 23rd, this guy comes out and this guy just rips to like new levels, right? It's very possible. So just some theories that I want to kind of bounce around over here within the technical analysis in and of itself. Randy, welcome. Crypto G, welcome. Miguel, welcome, and Bobby, welcome. Great to have all of you guys in here. Miguel said, hello, everyone. Another great day to buy Bitcoin. Bobby said, some say it's a large bull flag. I think that it's very possible. It's been something that I've been talking about for like forever on the channel, but like as soon as I saw this like first touch points happening, these first 2, all the way back in like July, early or mid July, something like that. Whenever I saw this forming, I think it was a very, very big possibility. And now it's pretty much confirmed, in my opinion. I'm 90% convinced we're going up. Bitcoin doesn't care about our lines. So that's the thing, is like I think that it doesn't care about our lines, but these are levels that it's going to bounce off of, and this is all good thing. So I just want to make sure that the macro of this is still very bullish. What's your BTC's target for end of year? So my target for the end of year so the target that I made, I think on like January like 2nd or 3rd or something like that, originally was like $6,000 or $7,000. It's still possible that it gets around that area, but my original target, I think you can go back, it's called like my Bitcoin prediction for 2019 or something like that. It's a video I made literally at the very beginning of the year. I think my target was like $6,000 or $7,000. Right now, if I had to, right now I think it's very possible that it ends the year in 5 digits. So $10,000 or above. I think that's very, very possible from here. We're gonna have to see how it reacts to the bottom of this bull flag, but that's just my thoughts. I reckon it will plunge further throughout the year before it rockets. Before it rockets. Well, we'll have to see, because I don't think that this guy's getting tested more than 5 times. And even if it gets tested 5 times, I would imagine that it goes like this, and then you have like mid-October. So then you'd have end of year. You'd essentially have it bouncing and breaking out before end of year, unless this fails. Now, if this fails, that's where things could really start to get ugly, because that would mean that it has to break the 618 to fail, and that pretty much means it's going right back to 4,200, which isn't something anyone wants to see. It's something that me and Dubs were talking about in the Discord a couple days ago, because if it does break support, he even said, it's probably going back to 4K, and I agree with him completely there. If it does break support here, that there's really nothing stopping it till 4K, or at least that area. Looking at the MACD and the RSI, if our chart will work here, we are ever so slightly bearish divergence on the 4-hour MACD. Really completely neutral on the RSI. Nothing really to say there. On the 1-day chart, double bullish divergence on the MACD, which is something that we've been talking about, waiting for this guy in here to round off, so now we can get some sort of lower swing high, or higher swing low rather, on the MACD standpoint, and pretty neutral on the RSI, which means I wouldn't be trading this because I don't like it when the RSI is neutral. It's really telling me that it's kind of a coin toss scenario, and while I am still leaning bearish over here, yeah, you know what? I am leaning even more so bearish, because now looking at this from the 1-day time scale, what we can see is that very clearly this is rejecting the 50 EMA. I mean, very clearly. How many daily candles is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 daily, 5 daily candles in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 daily candles in a row that are rejecting the 50 EMA on the 1-day time scale, which is, again, that's not telling me that this is necessarily bullish in the short term. Macro, again, still bullish, but in the short term, 5 daily rejection candles is telling me that, and it actually even looks like a bear flag over here. So let's go ahead and explain this. So what if this is our bear flag, our bear pull, or sorry, I'm saying this completely wrong. Let's rewind. What if this is our bear pull, excuse my horrible drawing, and then this is our bear flag. So bear pull, bear flag scenario, and all this is waiting for is for a breakdown. Now I think the minimal that it breaks down to is $9,000 or $9,200. Somewhere in the area of the lower 9,000 area is the minimal I see this breaking down to. Past that, I mean, it could go anywhere into the 8,000s even, if it has a really nasty breakdown. But again, low 9,000s is going to be a pretty strong support level. So we'll have to see how it handles it from there. I definitely do think that in the short term, this is definitely bearish in my opinion. I think it's going to be pretty hard to argue. I mean, even on a 4-hour time scale, you can see the rejection points from all the rejections in here. 5 daily candles in a row. That's insane. Miguel said, let's get stuck at 6K for a few months so we can just buy it all up. Jack Johnson, welcome. He says, RS Chris, nice to see you fellas here. Jack, it's great to have you in here. Welcome. So what else do we want to talk about in Bitcoin here? I guess we can do like a macro analysis. I still have the fibs up. It bounced off of, what is this, the 382 pretty well. You have a piercing candle from the 382. Besides that, nothing really. Bounced off the 382 back to the EMAs on the 4-hour and on the 1-day. The unique thing here is that the EMAs on the 1-day and the 4-hour are pretty much in the same place. So you're having double rejection from the EMAs. In fact, triple rejections, because you're getting rejection from the 50 EMA, the 200 EMA on the 4-hour, and then the 50 EMA on the 1-day. So I don't know. Plus, you're coming back down from upper resistance for the 3rd time. It's just, you know, it's definitely not an ideal bullish scenario for Bitcoin. But, and okay, so let's look at this. This is actually really good. If I had money on a leveraged account right now, I would be shorting this. Let's look at this. This is a bear flag if I've ever seen one. Look at this rising channel forming over here. This is actually just a continuation pattern. This is looking for its 3rd leg down. I mean, you have breakdown, bearish continuation pattern, breakdown, bearish continuation pattern, into probably another breakdown, and then this is going to be its 3rd leg, and then it'll probably be done for the bounce. But I mean, I can't tell you guys what to do with your money. But if I had money in a leveraged account, I would be, you know, I would not, ideally not be longing. It just looks so dreary. So I don't want to beat it too much into the ground because, as I said, the macro of this is still very bullish. But the short term doesn't look quite as good as the long term. The long term looks very, very good. So that's what I mean. So let's go ahead and talk about the long term because I feel like I've just beaten this thing into a ground tonight. But let's talk about this. So I was talking about those bear flags, but let's talk about the bull flag over in here. I mean, this looks about as almost as good as you can get on a macro chart for something like Bitcoin and cryptos. Hi, Jack. Can't even stick to one name or my mind will get confused. Thanks, buddy. I enjoy your TA. Very similar to my style. Great work. Thank you so much, Jack. Jack, do you do like YouTube and stuff as well? I saw you knew Chris. If you do, man, I'd love to check out your channel. I think personally we will hit 6.5K mark, but we'll be over a period of a few months or before the true bull flag. And so that's the thing, is that this is actually very possible, Jack. And something that I was mentioning earlier is that even if this is a very nice bull flag, it could very easily hit this 6K mark, 6.5K. Because, well, one, it could just do that by falling over here. But let's just say it comes down and then bounces and then sees rejection. It could come all the way back down. And this is that area that you were talking about 6.5K. It could very easily come back down here before bouncing. So you could like connect the dots and do something like this. I'm sorry, I'm horrible at drawing, but I'm sure you get the big picture here, is where it could kind of bounce, come down to 6.5K, which is the area that you were talking about, before bouncing. And that was something that I was mentioning earlier as well. So the idea that it could is 100% possible, because in addition to that, well, just below the 6.5K area, I would say maybe it's more around the lower 7,000s, because that's where the 618 fib retracement is for the maximum of this most recent move from bottom to top. The 618 fib retracement is something that I would think is very important to hold, but I completely agree with you, because this $6,500 area was formerly the strongest resistance in the history of Bitcoin. I mean, it was the bottom of a year-long descending triangle, so I'm right there with you, and I understand why. And I'm in agreement with you. And if it failed that $6,500 level, it'd be very, very bad. Chris said, off topic, Brendan, but have you got your Maya coins ahead of tomorrow's listing? The answer is no. I almost bought another mapper today. I bought more mapper today, but I didn't buy Maya tokens yet, because it's on Saturn Exchange, and I have so many exchange accounts. I'm going to be honest, I was just too annoyed or lazy. I think lazy is a better word. I was just too lazy to go create another account to go buy a token that I know I'm going to buy tomorrow anyway. So I'm just going to buy it whenever it comes onto the exchange, onto CADX, because CADX is literally so easy. I love CADX. I'll probably start using it like a lot more. I don't know what the fees are for CADX, but I mean, it is beautiful to use. Jack Johnson said, ride the waves up and down. Yes, sir. Crypto Capsule, why don't you put money in Trade Buddy? Well, here's the thing, Crypto Capsule, is, well, I could actually. I took all my money off of BitMEX. For the people who know, I'm sure, I don't know how new you are, Crypto Capsule, but basically I was doing leverage trades pretty much I wouldn't say every day, every week for sure, because I do more macro moves, but rather than like micro day trades. But I would do pretty much, for the past year, I've done leveraged trading, around 10x leverage every single trade. But with all the stuff happening with BitMEX right now, I just felt like my funds weren't safe to leave on BitMEX. And so I am not trying to lose a ton of money just because something happens between the US and BitMEX. So I would rather just play it safe. And I took my funds off of BitMEX because it just wasn't worth losing. I mean, honestly. So that's the honest answer. I think I made that announcement about a month ago. When all this BitMEX stuff started happening, I was just not in the mood. Because losing Bitcoin when it was around $3,000 was all right. Because again, if you owned a Bitcoin, you lose it, it's $3,000. Now you lose it, and it's triple that. So now that Bitcoin's worth a good amount of money again, I'm just not okay with losing Bitcoins. Especially not to like BitMEX stuff. For sure, that will be the case, but I guess the market can... Any options on where XRP is headed? Yeah, let's cover XRP, because I was going over that chart today in my private technical analysis. I almost made a post on social media about it. EMA ribbon on the weekly will support. Let's see it. What EMA? I'm guessing the 50. Huh. So the 50 EMA on the weekly is right on support as well. So it's going to be using, so this support line is going to also have the 50 EMA on the weekly chart to go hand in hand with it. Saturn price is 40 cents tomorrow, $1. Is it really? Maybe I will go buy some tonight. I forgot to post my, I've been forgetting to post my, hopefully I'm allowed to do this. I don't want to get in trouble. Not in trouble, but like, I don't want to like, you know when you put your account, this is what I mean. When I say in trouble, I don't want to get myself in trouble. Because when I put my, I hate putting like my wallets, I hate putting my wallets on live streams because I feel like it puts a target on my back. Where is my phone too? Here it is. I'll show you guys. I have to do a Google Authenticator in order to show you guys what I mean. Sorry, my computer's gonna be a little bit shaky for a moment. Let me go ahead and zoom out of this as well, so we can, so you guys can at least watch Bitcoin while I'm messing around over here. All right. Basically, what I was saying is that here it is that I kept forgetting to show how much mapper I kept buying. Is there a way for me to show this without? Screw it. Well, here. Basically, how much mapper I own, which is almost 12 now. So I'm almost at 12 mapper. I mean, you can see it's clearly my account. It's not a screenshot because I can just like refresh and do whatever. But so I'm almost up to 12 mapper. So I have been buying it up, and I have been accumulating, and then I have close to, or I have just over 100,000 DFS, and I'll be buying some Maya coin as well. So hopefully that answers your question. We going down in Crypto Town? Yes, sir, Randy Hams. That is my thoughts as well. So let's get back to the TA. I was promised XRP at $589 back in 2017. Who made you that promise? So let's go ahead and finish off Bitcoin, and then we'll get into XRP. So in all, guys, what I want to kind of conclude here about Bitcoin is the fact that, yes, this is a potential giant bull flag, bearish in the short term. So let's go ahead and talk about that, and then we'll go and do a quick speed run before we go to XRP and Ethereum and stuff like that. So bearish in the short term because of the fact that it rejected from top of resistance for the third time, also rejected from the EMAs on the 1 day and on the 4-hour chart. 5 rejection candles on the daily, which all lead me to believe that the short term is coming back down to this former resistance, turned support, kept support, still support, which is where it's leading me to believe that it's going to come to next. So this is the short term bearish. Midterm could very well be either bullish or bearish. Really depends on if it bounces off of this line. It could be bullish and then falls back down again, but ultimately it does look like it wants to touch the bottom of this overall bull flag, and then the long term obviously being a bullish case scenario, which is a potential to 17,000 if this breaks out properly. And the way that that would play out is something probably along the lines of this or something like this. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move into XRP, as that is one of the most volatile coins that we have right now because of all of this kind of FUD and news coming out about it. And I was hoping it didn't reject yet, but it already did. So let's talk about XRP. I'm not sure what this is from, but it failed. Can we draw up any lines here? That's pretty clean, but you still have a piercing candle there. So let's talk about, so everyone's asking themselves, like, what's happening with XRP, right? If you guys don't know, lots of bad news came out about XRP. There's a lawsuit, stuff like that. Lots of FUD in the area of XRP right now, which is the last thing that the crypto market needs. But why did it end up bouncing off of 23.5 cents? Out of everywhere that it could have possibly bounced from, let's actually do something. So for the first person who can tell me why XRP, I was just asking, I'm older than you, 10 plus years trader right here in New York. I follow some random channels and enjoy watching these live streams. You are good and have the edge, make the money. Oh yeah, thank you, Crypto. Or thank you, Capsule. It means a lot. Yeah, I mean, believe me, man, I loved leverage trading. I had a live document where I kept all my trades, and my subs could keep track of my trades and keep me accountable. But with the way that leverage trading has been getting handled in the U.S., the last thing I wanted is for all my Bitcoin to be seized, when I think that this is potentially market reversaling here. So all my funds are on a US approved exchange now, or wallets or something like that. But what I wanted to say in chat here is, for the first person who can tell me, because it's a scam, for the first person who can tell me why Ripple bounced off of this area that it did down here, you win. I don't know what you win, but you win. Let's do this off of Bitstamp. That's what I wanted to use. Well, I don't know what exchange I used it for earlier. Is it Coinbase? Oh my god. This went. Well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't have a... Actually, yeah, I do. I blame Charlie Lee pump and dump scam, that's why. Bearable Guy says regulatory clarification coming soon. So the question is, why did XRP bounce so well off of this area? I'll answer this question for you guys in a second, but I want someone to guess at least. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. My thoughts are that Ripple will recover. I mean, I think it will. I mean, there's no way Ripple doesn't recover, in my opinion. But let's talk about why. Why would it bounce off of here? And the answer is pretty simple. If we kind of put this chart over here, let's just draw a line so you guys can see it better than me just holding my mouse over it. Because this is the previous bottom, the previous yearly swing low for XRP. And it bounced off of this line like twice now. So let's kind of look at this. Over here, we saw it yearly low happen, right? Yearly low came back, bounced off of yearly low. Every time I hit this level, right? Fell all the way down, bounced off yearly low a lot. It went from 23 cents to 37 cents. Came back down, bounced off of 23 cents again, went all the way up to like 60 something cents. Hit yearly low again and immediately bounces up. What is this, like 6-7 cents? I mean, it's insane. Obviously, the fall down's insane, but the buyback pressure is just as insane because they're able to, buy this back just as fast as it's falling back down. So yes, this all fell down in one candle, but it pretty much got covered right back up. So although, yes, this is the yearly low line, but it's bouncing off of this with a lot of buying pressure. Granted, it is still a swing low, or a lower swing low, but what you can see over in here is that the 50 EMA is getting used as support. I think you have two rejection candles. You actually have two, not rejection, you have two support wicks over here off the 50 EMA. And in addition to that, one of the areas as to why it rejected here is because this is actually former support turn resistance on XRP, which isn't necessarily a good thing. You can see that over in here it was support, and over in here it was support again. Now turn resistance over here on XRP. So ideally, not the most bullish of scenarios that you could have, but certainly not the worst case scenario as well, because worst case scenario, this would have ended up doing something like this, like bear flagging and then just breaking down. But it ended up getting a little bit of a pennant in here. Or even, I guess you could kind of still call this a bear flag. It's very sloppy and very choppy. But you ended up having this consolidation, what looked to be a continuation, actually reversing to the upside because there was just so much buyback from the yearly lows. So 12-month low still holding on XRP. That is a good thing. MoneyGram Utility. Handy Rams said, Ethereum bounced too. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Someone with big money entered into crypto. Jalen, welcome. Hey, Brendan. Welcome, Jalen. Great to have you in here. Let's take a look at Ethereum. One of the things that, guys, that I wanted to mention tonight is that this live technical analysis is happening every single Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is what time we started. It's about 45 minutes ago. So every single Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be doing this, covering Bitcoin and all the altcoins, and we're going to be chatting, discussing, getting everyone's opinion, having you guys ask questions, all that deal. So I'm excited to get back into the swing of things. So hopefully we get accustomed to this new schedule. And I just want to make sure that all of you guys are aware that the new schedule is 8 p.m. every Sunday Eastern. Let's talk about this guy. So, first things first, when I'm looking at this, Ethereum bounced off of, we had two support lines, right? I mean, this has been around since February. I drew this at February of this year, or I've had this since February of this year. So, this other one, when's the last time we had this guy? I mean, this guy is from all the way from May 5th. So we've had this for forever. I don't know why I have an arrow here either. These guys have been around for a long time. Since the last time we covered Ethereum, these lines have been here. And so whenever this was coming down from this great monumental run that it had up here all the way to like $370, we knew that it was probably coming down to one of two places. Why? Because there's support. So our blue or our green support came off, failed the blue support, bounced right off of the secondary support. So primary support is still holding. Secondary support broke. Since primary support did hold, it came right back up to the 50 EMA and former resistance turned, or former support turned resistance. Yeah, I would still say it's former support turned resistance, but I think in this scenario, it's more the 50 EMA is actually getting used as rejection over in here. So as long as it bounces off this area and can continue to go up, I think Ethereum's in a great spot. However, if it breaks the yearly trend line, it could definitely be in a little bit more of a scary scenario. The reason for that being is because then you can really not... Oh, sorry. It's like a half yawn. If it breaks this green trend line, that's pretty much your yearly trend line support that would be broken. And then after that, all you have is consolidation support, which you still have a lot of, but you ideally want to hold trendline supports, especially if it's your last one. I'll come on more consistently to learn TA on Sunday. Ethereum is very underrated since most of the alts looking to dip. It would make sense that the king of the alts would plunge as well. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Jalen, and I think that this is where things can start getting into murky waters, because if Ethereum does break its final trend line of the year, then again, it's just not a good thing. I mean, look at this guy over here. I mean, it looks like it topped out, but if it holds this, ideally, there's no reason as to why it can't have a new high. No one, it's not going to be like that. But sorry, I was a little bit too bullish. But you know what I'm saying, like something like a climb. So there's no reason why it can't. But again, this area down in here is very, very important for where Ethereum has to hold. We know that it has resistance in here. If it can break this EMA, it can go up to the 200, probably get rejected, come back down, break the 200, and then continue upwards. So that's my thoughts on Ethereum right now. Looking at this guy, I mean, look at the selling pressure on this guy. I mean, really, really good selling pressure. Or volume, rather. Actually looks like it's getting bearish divergence on the RSI. But other than that, I mean, there's really not too much going on. I think as long as it holds this yearly support trend line, I think it'll be in an okay spot. But if it doesn't, I mean, let's talk about a bearish situation. So if it doesn't, where would it head to? Handy is saying, I'm just going to call you Randy. Randy's saying $120 Ethereum, which would be all the way down here. So if it broke this support line over here, I think that a bearish spot, I mean, it could fall easily upper 150s, mid 137s. I guess it could do 120. I think there's like other places though. I feel like if it breaks this this area in here around 100, low 140s, high 130s, like this 130 to $140 area in here, I feel like it's just gonna. I mean, it's already not in a good spot. I mean, if it breaks this guy, there's no reason why it like falls for like $40. It'll probably have a $40 free fall. That is unlikely. It's way too low. Yeah, and I think I'm right there with you. I mean, ideally, this would kind of be like a golden pocket above 150. I think anything below 130 could very well lead to like a new low of year. But I don't know if it's going to get back down there. That's a long ways away. Let us go. What else is there to talk about? Go back to Bitcoin. If you guys have any questions or requests, feel free to ask those in chat. I was going to go over some news about Backed coming out next month because futures are something that I trade literally every day. I mean, especially, so basically since leverage trading has been closed for Bitcoin for me, I just moved to doing futures contracts for indexes and commodities because it's very similar. Somewhat similar. Is there any alts you're looking to buy specifically? I'll tell. So Jalen, this is the way I'm playing the market right now. I'm in a very weird spot because I can't margin trade cryptos anymore, or at least for right now. I can't margin trade cryptos for now. So the way I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing in the market, in the mind of Brendan the trader here. If Bitcoin continues to fall, I will be accumulating more Bitcoin at support. I am not buying any altcoins right now, except for, and people are not going to like this because you're literally going to think that I'm shilling, but like this is just honestly, like complete transparency. Whether you like it or not, this is what I'm doing. I'll buy Bitcoin if it gets down to lower support levels. I'm not buying Bitcoin at triple digits. It's too expensive for me to buy. Not to say that I can't buy it, but like I just don't think it'd be a very smart buy. So I'm not buying Bitcoin anywhere close to $10,000. If it gets down to like a lower, like $6,000, $7,000, something like that, I'll probably buy more Bitcoin. I'm not buying any altcoins right now except for Mapper, Maya, and DFS. I know some people are gonna really hate that I said that, but it's the honest truth. Those are the only altcoins that I'm looking to buying right now because they have hella swing potential. Things that I'm trading a lot right now are futures contracts for S&P 500, a little bit of NASDAQ futures contracts, and oil, gold, or crude oil, gold, and silver as well. I don't do futures contracts for the Dow Jones. What else is there? That's pretty much all the stuff that I do futures trading on. And that's pretty much it because I don't do margin trading anymore for Bitcoin. I am moving almost all of my funds to Coinbase Pro from Binance to Coinbase Pro. Some of the coins that can't go to Coinbase Pro are going to private wallets, like my Pundy is going into a private wallet. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So that's my game plan. Only 3 altcoins I'm accumulating are Maya, Mapper, and DFS. And Bitcoin, if it goes lower, closer to like 6,000 or something like that, and lots of literally I'm trading every single day in the futures market, which is something I want to make content on eventually, whether it's on this channel or another one. Yeah, Backed is very positive news. My bad. Your name is Brennan, not Ben. You're cool, man. I am not very picky about that stuff. I don't really care, to be honest. You could call me Bob for all I care. It makes sense you would buy crypto. Yeah, would you take a look at Neblio? Oh, I'm glad you asked. I like Neblio, but I haven't looked at it in at least a year. Oh, no. Neblio, why? Well, yeah, when I looked at this guy last, it was like, well, I guess it wasn't a year ago. I guess it was like April. But, oh, dang. It broke support, and it died. So this is the last time we talked about Neblio. We talked about if it did break support, it would like go off a cliff. And it did exactly that, unfortunately. So the way I played this was entrance on support. It came right back to support. Entrance on support right here. Stop loss right below it. Stop loss of... Is that really 11%? So potential stop, if you entered at support, it would have been tighter, but would have been like this. So you would have had a stop around 7%. So you risk 7% to make 351%, 352%. But it broke. I would have been stopped out, and this would have went off a cliff. Going from 3,350 or 3,500 sats all the way down to 500 sats. Whew. Now that it's over here, there's really not too much to do TA on. I mean, you have like a support line over in here. It's getting rejected from both of the EMAs. I mean, you can see pretty clearly in here. Rejection from the 200, rejection from the 200, constantly rejected from the 50. And now it's pretty much just waiting to retest support at a new low of year into the 400s. So, not necessarily good. I mean, way back, dude, one of the first videos I ever made was Neblio Explained. I believe that was the title of the video. I'm sure, like, here, let's do it. Can I just, like, type that in on to YouTube? Well, maybe it won't pop up. Well, I wonder if I can find it. It was somewhere on my channel. Here it is. Where is it? And now I lost it, of course. Nucleus Vision. Here it is. Yeah, Neblio Explained. Over a year ago. I kind of talked about how much I like Neblio from there. Oops. Showing all my wallets. But anyway, big rabbit trail. I'm very upset at the price action, no fundamentals, but because Roy Factor, I still believe. Is it going to be a dead project? I mean, in all honesty, I don't know. I mean, it's not good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to love the project, but like, I haven't owned Neblio in a very long time. I mean, this was enough. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't think I've been in Neblio since it was like up in here. It's just, I mean, maybe eventually it'll make a comeback, but it's going to be one of those things where you're either done or you're hodling for forever. Because in the problem I talked about with Neblio is that they're so do or die. They're so dependent on the ground level already being laid, and then they become relevant. But until the ground level has been completely paved and set, they're useless. And I say that in the best way possible because I really like them. But until crypto adoption and is getting used more and blockchain's getting used more and stuff like that, they're really kind of an irrelevant company because of what they do. What they do is amazing, but it's just not going to go anywhere until everything else becomes more popular. Once everything else starts becoming more mainstream and popular, they will blow up again. It's just a matter of how long or if that will ever happen. And that's kind of a big if for a lot of people. Some people think that that could be like 10, 20 years down the road. Some people say that that's going to be a year from now. I mean, no one really knows in all honesty, but it's a scary thing to hold regardless, because it's a hedge. I mean, if it's true and they blow up, they're going to be huge, but if they don't, they're not going to be worth anything. There isn't much fundamentals or good news about them. Many other crypto projects are very competitive now. And that's the thing, is that there's so much competition in crypto and blockchain now for such little, like there's so much competition, but there's so little area for the competition to go to. I don't know how to explain that well, but basically they're all fighting for such a small niche. For the small niche that crypto is right now, there's so many people for fighting for such a small niche amount of people, and that's the kind of the problem. Not necessarily that they're horrible, but some people are just shining brighter than they are. But we have almost been going about an hour, guys. I think I am going to go ahead and wrap this up pretty soon. But by all means, if you guys have any video requests or anything, leave those as a link, or I'll leave that link to the Discord, and you guys can join and put that stuff in there. Let me see. It's not wanting to do it. There we go. If you guys want to join the Discord and join the community, it's completely free. That's a link to the Discord. You guys are welcome to join into that. Again, free, no strings attached. You'll probably just have to create a Discord account. Other than that, it's completely free, and you guys can join in and ask me any questions that you guys might want and participate in all the conversations that we have. Wrath says, do you think XRP is promising in the long term? I do. I mean, honestly, I do. I think that the technology behind them is very good, and they're very, very good at marketing as well. So love them, hate them. They know what they're doing. I don't think that, and this is honest, I mean, disclaimer, I do own a little bit of XRP, but it's like a very small amount, like 300 XRP or something like that. But, you know, I believe in them. Promising the long term, yeah. Eventually, I do want to get more XRP. And before I wrap this up, I can go ahead and flash this. Top 10 coins. So this is the top 10 coins that I want to continue accumulating of. I need to remove Neblio is on this list. This is an outdated list, unfortunately. But I need to get rid of Neblio. Funny enough, so yeah, Bitcoin, XRP, Pundi X, EOS, Cardano, TRX, Amise, Go, BAT, Stellar Lumens, Binance Coin. Honorable mentions are going to be Encash, Karma, Ravencoin, and Neblio. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Karma. I'm going to go and do it right now. I'm going to get rid of Karma. I'm going to get rid of Neblio. Encash is a very risky trade. Ravencoin's kind of blown up in the past year or so. And I'm going to replace this with like DFS, Mapper, and Maya. Oh, and that's going to be pretty much it. Yeah, thanks, Jalen. I mean, that's just my personal ideal portfolio for now. But hopefully you guys did enjoy the live stream tonight, guys. I am going to go ahead and wrap this off now. I'm pretty tired, but just remember, this will be happening every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll have videos going all week, so, you know, there's still going to be plenty of content coming out. Again, I'm going to try to really stay on top of the content this semester and be grinding it out. So, plenty of Bitcoin videos and altcoin videos to come. Hopefully you guys will be able to stick around and enjoy. Hit that like button if you guys haven't already. I'm part of Maya, and I'm so excited. Great to hear, Tina. I am equally as excited. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. But until next time, guys, I guess I almost said stay hyped, which is something I haven't said in a long time. Stay excited, guys. I'll see you guys in the coming videos this week.